Hi, this is Michael Regan with the Regan Team Home Loan Group. Thanks so much for visiting our channel and watching this video. And don't forget to subscribe when you're here. So that way, the more content that we get, the more informed you'll be. So I just want to talk about one topic today that I hear a lot about that a lot of people just aren't really familiar with. So there's a lot of companies out there in the mortgage space that advertise push a button and get a loan. They make it seem like you can open up your phone, put in some information, and all of a sudden you're pre-approved for a home loan, and it's easy as that. Well, as most of you know, if you know marketing, they try to make it seem a lot better than it really is, and they're not exactly what I would call truthful. So I just want to kind of pull the curtain back so you can see what really happens when you get pre-approved for your home loan and what the difference is. So one, if you go to one of these companies, open up your phone, go to your computer, push a button, maybe enter your social security number and a couple things and about you, and all of a sudden they give you a letter, realize that letter isn't worth the paper it's written on. That's not a real pre-approval. And I don't care what they do. And here, give us access to your bank accounts, give us access to your taxes, all that stuff. It's not a real pre-approval. A real pre-approval takes a lot more work and a lot more time than that. So just know this. You have an opportunity and you have a choice. The choice is, do you want to provide all your paperwork and do all the work that it takes to get a loan at the beginning, the middle, or the end? But realize if you do it in the middle or the end, you'll be costing yourselves tens of thousands of dollars. Because think of this. So we know, number one, 37% of loans that get in process are denied. What that means to you is if you're a buyer and you go to one of these push button, get a loan, and a lot of the institutions, big banks, credit unions, a lot of these, all these online lenders, they all do it the same way. You go in there, you put a little information and they go, congratulations, you're pre-approved. And then you think everything is great. You give the letter to your real estate agent, you did it all yourself and you think that was easy. And it is. But here's the catch. You get into contract and all of a sudden you try to contact that lender and say, okay, great, I'm in contract now. What do I do next? I'm done, right? Because I think push a button, get a loan. Well, that's not what happens. What happens is then that lender goes to you and says, great, now we need to order an appraisal. So you're gonna need to pay for that. Now you need to provide us with your tax returns. Now you need to provide us with your bank statements. Now you need to provide us with your pay stubs. I need an employment contact. I need all this all this documentation that we weren't able to get digitally or that just didn't come through properly. So I need all this documentation. And then we also need to figure out what kind of loan are you doing? But of course, they're not going to advise you. They're just going to say, what do you want? And you're supposed to know and tell them what you want. And so essentially you're doing your loan yourself. You're spending hours collecting all your paperwork, researching, do everything yourself because all they send you to is a little fax. Hey, if you have any questions, go to this fax page because we can't answer your questions because we don't know what we're doing. That's kind of the process. And so then all of a sudden, you're spending thousands of dollars on home inspections, appraisals, your home inspection, your roof inspection, maybe sewer lateral inspection, pest report, et cetera, et cetera. There's a ton of inspections that you most likely are going to want to do. If you're buying a, $500,000, $1 million plus house, you're going to want to make sure that you know what's going on with that house before you buy it. So you spend thousands of dollars on all these inspections. And then all of a sudden you get an email. They don't even call you. Get an email or an automated note that says, hey, we have a problem, or straight up your loan is denied. And so what happens is if you thought it was so easy, you got to push a button, get a loan, you spent thousands of dollars on inspections, spent all this time researching, spent all this time doing all this stuff to find out you didn't qualify for this loan. And they don't give you any, hey, maybe if you do this, we could do this, maybe we could tweak it, maybe you could do this. No, there's none of that. It's just like, sorry, can't offer you a loan. Goodbye. Because you're just one of a number. They don't really care about you. And they're not interested in the money you've lost. And so that's where I say, do you want to do all that work at the beginning, middle, or end? Because it's going to cost you a lot of money and potentially thousands of dollars if you wait to the middle or the end to do it. But you're going to have to do it. So I just want you to be real clear that there is no such thing as push a button, get a loan, that it's so easy. And, loans can be made as easy as possible. And we definitely do that. But you have to understand when it's really easy up front to get a loan and get a pre-approval, it means it's not worth the paper it's written on. It means that they're actually doing you a huge disservice because you're doing your loan yourself. You're spending, and people don't understand, time is money. When you're spending 8 to 10 to 12 hours doing your own loan, that's a lot of money. So you go, oh, this online lender, they're $500 less expensive. Well, no, actually, They're way more expensive because not only are they not giving you any advice or service, you're not even put in the same, in a good position to win. You're doing your loan yourself. They can't even answer your questions. And if something goes wrong, they won't help you. Is that really worth it? I mean, and I want to put this to you. Think of this. So you go, okay, great. I shopped around. I did what some online place says I should do. Great. And then you go, okay, well, I'm going with this place. Okay. Realize that, think of this like your vacation. You're on a vacation, planning a vacation with your family. You planned the airplane trip, the hotel, you got everything dialed in, you're going to have a great vacation. But guess what? I can find you a cheaper airline. I can find you a cheaper hotel. I can find you cheaper activities. But here's the catch. You're not going to know what airline you're on. You're not going to know what time your flight is. You'll know the day, but that's it. You won't know the hotel. You won't know exactly the room type. You won't know exactly where the hotel is. You'll know the vicinity, but you won't have any of the details. Your activities, you'll kind of know the date, maybe a time, maybe not. You don't exactly know what company's going to offer it to you, which particular activity they're going to do. You're putting it all the chance. Your family's enjoyment, your vacation, your happiness, you're going to put all the chance to save a couple bucks. That's exactly what you're doing when you go to an online mortgage company or any kind of company that makes you do your loan yourself. Because you have to understand, they seem like they're cheaper upfront, but they're the most expensive option you can take, because not only are you having to do the loan yourself, having to do all the research and hope you're right. And quite frankly, people, this is kind of how I see things is, if you look back, financial literacy has really dropped. As more people do more things online and do it themselves, people's financial problems have grown. And the reason it is because so many people think they can self-diagnose. It's like, going to WebMD and everyone thinks they have cancer. That's not the case. What you do is you have to go to a professional to diagnose you properly, to give you the right tools, to give you the right information so that you can make an informed decision and also have someone that can answer all those questions for you. That's not what you're going to get at any of these other sites to do this. So I want you to understand that trying to do it yourself is great. Do your research, find out the basics, whatever that you need to do, but understand at the end of the day, you need to work with a professional. You're costing yourself and putting yourself in a really bad position by not doing that. So just realize that, again, when you go to some place and then they give you a pre-approval with just putting a couple buttons and you think that's the whole system, like that's how you get a mortgage, it's not. That's just the little tip of the iceberg. You're still going to have to do all that work. But the thing is, they're putting you, because they don't care about you, they're putting you in a position to fail. Because again, you get into contract and we know that 37% of 100 people end up spending thousands of dollars on all these home inspections, on all these things, getting their family ready, getting the moving van ready, everyone getting excited, and then for all to just fall apart because they tried to do it themselves. So don't do that to your family. Don't do that to yourself. Put yourself in a position to win. Put yourself in a position to be an educated home buyer and to have a group, a team like ours that puts you in a position to win, to succeed, and educates you, and also manages your loan and helps you manage your finances for the rest of your life. That's critical. That's how you become successful. That's how you become wealthy, is to understand you don't know everything and to have experts around you who are experts in that specific area you need help and who help you to have a better life. So that's what I want to show you is, again, I get these questions. Well, I saw this so-and-so, I could push a button and get a loan. It's like, yeah, but you're also going to put all your money and your family's livelihood at risk by doing that, because you're dealing with companies that quite frankly don't care about you. And you've seen that in the news recently with some of the companies, how they've laid off, half of their staff and didn't even tell their staff that they were getting laid off until they either got their last paycheck or logged into their system. And all of a sudden, hey, you don't work here anymore. And it's like, look, if those kind of companies treat their staff like that are supposed to be the backbone, how do you think they're going to treat you? And so I just want to have this realization that, as more and more we go online, as more and more we want to go to this fintech and digital, there are advantages to that, no doubt. But there are huge disadvantages that are making people in a less healthy financial situation. And so don't be one of those people who does that. Don't be a person who costs yourself tens of thousands of dollars and puts your family at risk because you thought you could just push a button and get a loan. So hopefully that gives you some clarity on why it's so important to work with an expert when you're buying your biggest asset and your biggest debt, And so give us a call, 415-672-2499 or 707-508-8473, or visit us at reganteam.com. And we look forward to helping you. Thank you so much.